Hello and welcome to Object-Oriented PHP and MVC. So I just want to talk a little bit about what this course entails. Okay, so this is not a beginner-based PHP course. We're not going to be discussing things like how to create variables or functions or loops or anything like that. However, if you do need to learn that stuff, I have a completely free YouTube course called PHP Front to Back, and everything that you need to know is in that course. All right, so that's actually a really good prerequisite before you take this course. All right, but if you know the basics of PHP, then you should be okay. I also have a PDO crash course available on YouTube, which might be worth checking out. Now, in this course, we're going to be building a completely custom MVC, Model View Controller framework from the ground up. So basically something like kind of like a mini code igniter. Okay, it's not going to be easy and it will challenge you, but if you get through it, you're going to learn a ton and you're going to be able to do things like create your own frameworks, or you can add on to this one. It's completely open source, so you can do whatever you want with it in the end. All right, now building the framework is only half the battle. Once that's done, we'll be building an application on top of that, which I'll talk about in a second. All right, and then before we start development, there will be an object-oriented PHP primer section for people that may be new to class-based object in PHP, and I think that'll be a good refresher for a lot of you, even if you do know that stuff. All right, so the framework we'll build is going to be called Traversy MVC, but it's completely open source. You can change the name to whatever you want. It's going to include a full MVC workflow. We'll be using a .htaccess file and Apache mod rewrite to create friendly URLs, and we'll have the URLs formatted in a way so that they call the correct controller and method, and then that method will load a view or process a form or whatever it may be. All right, we'll have a base controller that all other controllers will extend, and they can use that to load models and views. We'll also create a custom database library class using PDO, so all of our models will load up the database library to make queries with prepared statements. All right, so the application that we'll build on top of our framework is going to be called Share Posts, and it'll allow users to create an account, create posts. We'll have full user authentication, CRUD functionality for the posts, as well as access control. We'll create some extra helpers for things like flash messaging and redirects. And then we'll go ahead and when the app is complete, we'll deploy it to a shared hosting account. All right, so what I want to do now is just jump in and show you the application that we'll be building on top of our custom framework. All right, guys, so this is the application that we're going to be building on top of the Traversy MVC PHP framework. So it's called Share Posts, and basically we have to log in and we have to create an account to be able to create posts. So this is just the landing page, the home page. We have the About, and then over here we have a register and a login. And you can see that we're using Bootstrap 4 for our UI. All right, so let's go ahead and create an account. Now, we implemented some really nice server-side validation. You can see if I try to register, we're actually implementing the Bootstrap validation classes, which looks really nice. Also, we did things like make it so that you can't register the same email. So if I put in brad@gmail.com, which is actually an email I've already used, and click register, you'll see email is already taken. All right, so let's refresh that page and just create an account that'll work. So we'll say Kevin Smith. Email, we'll say kevin@gmail.com. We'll enter a password. Must be 6 characters, and it must, of course, match. So let's register. All right, and we set up custom flash messages as well. You can see it now says you're registered and can log in. So we'll go ahead and log in with kevin@gmail.com and log in with our password, which gets encrypted, of course. And now we have our post page, okay? So this is basically just public posts. You can see we have one written by Jeff Smith. We have one written by John Doe. These are all users that are registered with this application. And you can see up here we have welcome Kevin Smith. So if we want to read more of a post, we can click on more, and it just basically brings us to a details page. And of course, you can add on to this application. There's a lot that you can do. You can add more fields. Right now, we just have a title and a body, but I didn't want to just do things that were redundant, just to make it look a little better and add some more fields. You guys can do that. You'll learn how to do that on your own. All right, so if we want to add a post, we'll go ahead and click here. And let's say this is Kevin's post, and we'll just say hello world and submit. We get post added. You can now see Kevin's post here. If I click more, now since this is my actual post, the logged in user's post, we can see these edit and delete buttons. All right, so if we wanted to edit it, we could say Kevin's post 1 and submit, and you can see that that's now been edited. And if I want to delete it, of course, we can delete it. All right, so this entire application is built on a framework that we created from scratch. So there's no, CodeIgniter or Laravel or any external libraries or frameworks. Everything is completely custom with just PHP that we write. All right, and you just don't find many courses that do stuff like that. So I think that you guys will really enjoy this. So let's go ahead and get started.